Friends, it's Everything Mayor. We're back with another episode. Never a dull moment in the world of John Mayer, and we're here to cover it all as long as it relates to music and the creative endeavors that our favorite artist is up to these days. Big news this week, and it's one of those things where it's like I always have to pick a day. I got to do the show, and just inevitably, there's something that's going to come out the day after, and this week was no different. John Mayer, Zach Bryan at the Big House in Ann Arbor, Michigan for a concert. So we're going to talk about that today. I have thoughts, I have feelings, and I will tell you whether or not I will be going to that show. I suspect we have some new people here, thanks to the last few episodes. If you are new, a couple housekeeping items, please subscribe to the channel. It helps immensely. Leave a comment. It'd be great. There is a membership section. There's additional content. There's 2 levels to that membership. So if you're interested, check that out. But most of all, I thank you for being here. So Zach Bryan, John Mayer. It's not the first time we've seen them together. Mayer has sat in with Zach Bryan's band before. He's actually on his latest album, Zach Bryan, as well as a live album that he put out. So, no surprise here as far as a collaboration goes. A bit of a surprise, though, because what we've been wondering, on this show, certainly in the comments section, I've asked the question too, is what are the touring plans, if any, in 2025 for John Mayer? So let's start there. Do we think that this is a one-off, or is this just the first of many kind of unique, maybe festival or big stadium or, not like extended tour run type shows that Mayer might be doing in 2025? I didn't think of that initially. My good friend Jason Shadrick at Premier Guitar, we were talking about this, and he was like, hey, I wonder if this is maybe a part of a collection of dates that Mayer is going to announce that may or may not have anything to do with one another. And I was like, that's actually a pretty good thought. So do I think we're going to get a traditional tour in 2025? No, I don't think so. I think we are solidly into him making that the record. And how long that takes remains to be seen. And then there's, obviously a ramp up period, and venues have to be booked. I mean, who knows? I mean, like, even if things are booked right now, I just don't see it in 2025. You never know, though. You never know. Could be interesting. He's in, show mode, at least, to be agreeing to doing something like this with Zach Bryan. So, it's funny. If you got to look at how it's billed. Obviously, this is a Zach Bryan concert. So he's the headliner. John Mayer is special guest, and there's conventions to these things and how they, it's like an evening with or co-headlining shows are billed differently. Special guest is kind of a feature slot. Then there's 2 openers. It's a whole thing. So Mayer is definitely a really cool compliment to this. Zach Bryan is, I think his popularity is even beyond my own understanding. Because Michigan Stadium, let's talk about the venue next. So to close out that thought, do I think there will be other dates of John Mayer proper shows this fall? I tend to think yes. I have no insider info. John and I did not talk about that at the PRS 40th anniversary. Yes, I'm dropping that in again. If you didn't know that, go back and watch the previous episode. I will for my whole life probably now. But he didn't say anything regarding touring or shows. Certainly would have been nice to know, though, because, Ann Arbor is in my backyard practically here. So in Metro Detroit. But yeah, so do I think it could be a one-off? I mean, it really could be, but I tend to think that there'll probably be a couple other things going on. Do I think he'll pop up on the other Zach Bryan Stadium shows? I don't know. Maybe. Those have been out and announced for a little bit, so Mayer wasn't involved in those, so I'm not really sure on that, but it remains to be seen. But let's talk about the venue, because I think Zach Bryan has to be given his due on this. As much as I would like to say John Mayer, sold out the Big House, I think, he would be the first to tell you that's not going to happen. Because It is the largest stadium in the Western Hemisphere. I believe that is what I read. And it is it's the largest in the United States. It is the largest football stadium in the Western Hemisphere and is the third largest stadium in the world, clocking in at 107,000 or so seats. That is for a football game. So the way this concert is going to be structured, if you looked at the ticket map or tried to get tickets, the stage will be at center field, and then there's seating on the field as well. So it's additional seats, that you're not going to have at a football game because you can't sit on the field during a football game, obviously. So more than 107,000 people will be in attendance to this, which is kind of mind-boggling. Now, I will say, though, having John Mayer on the bill absolutely helps to sell it out and sell tickets, for sure. The last couple times Mayer has been in Michigan, it has been in Detroit. And Detroit and Ann Arbor are not that far away. But, I think it's been since Mayer played in Ann Arbor. I know he played the Blind Pig, which is a small venue back in the day. I don't know if he ever did the Michigan Theater. I'm not sure. Beautiful venue, though. So yeah, I mean, having Mayer on the bill definitely helps. But Zach Bryan's popularity is undeniable. You can sell out a football stadium. I mean, it's pretty incredible. But the venue is something we have to talk about, though. And I will tell you if I'm going or not. I'll tease that like it's a teaser, like you're going to stick around to hear about it. Maybe you will. But the venue is, raise your hand if you've ever been to a show in a stadium. The last time I went to a concert at a stadium, it was Comerica Park, which is the Detroit Tigers baseball stadium. And it was 2 nights of Dave Matthews Band in 2001, I want to say. And I had tickets on the field in the 11th row, and then I had tickets way up in the grandstands for another night. And unfortunately, the first show was the 11th row on the field, it was really good. It was great. It was like the only real difference was the fact that the stage was like twice as tall as a normal show. But from where I was sitting, the sound, because I was kind of almost dead center. PA was like a good distance from my head, and I wasn't, in a weird spot to catch like too many reflections. So it sounded good. And if you just faced the stage, you felt like you were just at a normal, as normal as a show as that could be, an outdoor concert. The next night, though, further away, at the time, I remember there being a lot of talk about the PA system was kind of state of the art. There were the main speakers, down by the stage, and those were perfectly timed. So by the time the sound got to the satellite speakers that would hit the upper decks of the baseball stadium, they were phase aligned, so the sound kind of, carried together, as opposed to having it hit you at multiple times, because sound does not move as fast as you think it would. So that being said, though, when you're sitting in a stadium, the sound is never going to be, it's not going to be what it could be in a theater or an amphitheater or a small club. So, just Metallica kind of comes to mind as like the biggest recent tour especially of a kind of in the round setup in the middle. And there were varying reviews on how that sounded, especially in outdoor stadiums like in Europe, which would be more similar to what's going on here at the Big House, rather than like an indoor stadium for football, which I know Metallica played a lot of indoor stadiums in the United States. So do I think it's going to sound that great? I don't know. Don't know. Remains to be seen. There's never been a concert at Michigan Stadium before, so it's kind of unprecedented. So I think whoever they have contracted to, design the PA for this has their work cut out for them, just because it's unfamiliar territory. I'm sure they're going to do a great job, and whatever is possible will be done, and it's going to sound as good as it possibly can. But the fact is that they're not made for concerts. They're made for football. So, what do you expect? So that brings me to the stage. The stage is in the middle. Now, we don't know what the stage is going to look like. Is it going to be covered, uncovered? I would imagine September in Michigan, probably going to need to have some covering on the stage because, God forbid it rains or something. That would make it very difficult to perform. So I would assume it's going to be covered in some way that still allows the people way up at the top of the bowl to be able to see. And I don't know that. I mean, I would imagine it's going to turn. Metallica's stage, for example. I mean, they were running around. It's designed with the idea that they're going to be moving around a lot and giving everybody, kind of their own perspective of the show. Zach Bryan's band, I don't know if they're going to do that. John Mayer, I can tell you, I don't think that that's what's going to happen. Now, here's the question, and this is where I need your help. Is he going to do this solo? Is he going to do it with a band? And if he does it with a band, what band is he going to do it with? So let's answer the first question. My opinion is I doubt he's going to do this solo. Could he? Yes, I think he could. And I think it could actually be kind of cool. But, if I'm not mistaken, the two acts that would be coming before John Mayer are, Ryan Bingham and the Texas Gentlemen and Joshua Sloan. I would guess Ryan Bingham and the Texas Gentlemen, at least, are going to be their full-out ensemble. I'm not really familiar with Ryan Bingham. So for all I know, he could be a solo act, and I'm just sounding like an idiot, but my guess is he's probably got a band that he plays with. So it would be a little bit lopsided, I suppose, to have Mayer come out and be solo. So I'm guessing he's probably going to have a band. Now, is it going to be the 9 or 10 piece band that we've seen on arena tours? Don't know. Not sure. This, I think, all speaks to, is this a one-off? Are there multiple dates he's going to be doing around that? It's who's available, who's doing what. When you're not booked on a full-out tour, what's Pino Palladino doing? What's Sean Hurley doing? What's Aaron Sterling doing? What's Steve Jordan doing? What's, every other mate, David Ryan Harris, Isaiah Sharkey. I mean, he has a lot of people to pull from, but what's it going to be? Could this be a time when he brings the Mark Lettieri band like I talked about in the last episode? I don't think so, but would they crush it if they did? Yeah, I think it'd be really cool. So, question is, how is he going to perform? Is it going to be solo? Is it going to be a trio thing? It's not going to be the John Mayer trio because it's not billed that way. Totally separate band. If it is with a band, who is that band and what does it look like? Back to the stage, I don't anticipate it being something where Mayer's got a wireless guitar rig and he's running around the stage. That's not his vibe. So the acoustics are wireless, but the electric guitars are always direct plugged in, and they will remain that way for all of time because that is what us tone purists do. So let's talk about actually going to the show. Now, did I try to get tickets to this? Yes, I did. Did I end up getting tickets? No, I did not. I had 2 tickets in my cart after many attempts to get tickets that failed. And I was categorized as a bot. It was kind of funny because a little pop-up came up and said, "Are you a real fan?" And I was like, got a podcast dedicated to the guy. Of course I'm a real fan. Come on. So, but what ended up happening was, I don't know, I couldn't do it. It was very expensive. They're using dynamic pricing, surge pricing. So I actually watched tickets go up like $50 from where they started. I was trying to get those, and then you click on tickets and it would tell you that they're not available. And it turned into a whole thing. So I'm not saying I'm not going to go, but I'm kind of saying I'm not going to go. And there's a lot of reasons for that. One, it's very expensive. It was north of $500 for 2 tickets. I get it. I mean, there's a lot of music that day, and there's a lot, so it's just, no surprise. I knew it was going to be in that price range. Just, once the time came, there's bleachers. There's no seat backs. It's old guy coming out at me. It's a big crowd. I'm not somebody who doesn't like big crowds, but I've actually never been to a college football game. So, if I were to go to a U of M game with 107,000 other people, I mean, take a look at that stadium. I can't imagine you can get anywhere quickly if you have to go to the bathroom or you want something to eat or drink. That's probably not the easiest place to navigate. I don't know though. It could be like a well-oiled machine for all I know. So I've never been there. So, but it was just, it's a, and if I'd be lying if I didn't tell you that the PRS 40th anniversary event that I saw in Anaheim, California, where I got to talk to John and discounting that portion of it, I got to see him perform in a venue that I hadn't seen him perform in a venue that small in 25 years. So it was really cool to get to see that. And it's tough, even though he only did 4 songs, he's only on stage for 4 songs, but it was a really impactful 4 songs to be that close and that intimate, in such a unique setting, unique band. And then obviously, getting called out and having him, bring me backstage to talk or whatnot like that obviously factors into it as well. But if I didn't, I'd be lying if I didn't say like that, not that it demotivated me from trying to get tickets, but I wasn't as upset not getting tickets or choosing not to get tickets. And the other thing is that I do believe we're on the doorstep of a John Mayer headlining tour, whatever that's going to look like. So whether that's in fall of 25, whether that's in 26, summer of 26, I don't know. But I think I'm also thinking to myself like, I'd rather spend the money. I would rather spend the money to go see that show at an arena or an amphitheater, which is where I presume it would be, unless he takes my advice, takes Mark Lettieri's band out for a short theater run, a mini tour, maybe a residency. I saw somebody suggest a residency in the comments. Great idea. I would probably also buy tickets and fly out to the Sphere in Vegas for a Dead & Company show before this also. And that's, obviously a totally different thing, but the venue is a big selling point. How often are you going to be able to see that configuration of Dead & Company for the years to come? People are getting older. So there's that part of it as well. But again, I'm not totally ruling out, going. It's not till September. We got a long time. And another thought I had, this is just a thought at this point, so it's not anything in stone. It's not even anything I'm officially planning, was what if I didn't go to the show, but I found a venue in downtown Ann Arbor to do a meetup, if any of you happen to be going to the show. So that's on the table. We shall see. Because that's something, long-term goal, I would love to do. I don't know what the reality of traveling around to places is, but if there's a show that seems like a lot of Everything Mayer listeners are going to be at, I think it'd be really cool to do something in person prior to a show and hang out, meet up, and then go enjoy the concert. So we'll see. Anything's possible at this point, but I would love to know what your thoughts are on this announcement. I did not see it coming, that's for sure. My dad actually texted me and he was like, "Hey, you're gonna go see Mayer when he comes to the big house?" And I was like, what? And then it was like a minute after they announced it. So it was, kudos to my dad for calling that out. So, but I'm curious to know what you think about that, and whether or not you're going to go, whether you would want to go. Maybe you're across the country or across the world and you can't, but how you're feeling about a venue of that size. And the show was Zach Bryan. So the applause, as you returning viewers and listeners know, is indicative of the after dinner mint, which means we can let our hair down and relax for a moment. 19 minutes into this show. So nothing huge in the after dinner mint. It's the looser section of the show. I will reiterate, if you're listening this far into the episode or watching this far into the episode, I would imagine that you are someone who would want to meet up if we did some type of an event before a Mayer show. So let me know in the comments if you are one of those people. Who would want to do that. I think in theory, in concept, in principle, many of you would want to do that. In practicality, how many people could we get? I don't really know. Especially, Ann Arbor is, it's not It's not a major city. It's a fun college town. It's great, by the way. Like, great music town as well. I mean, outside of this show, the Arc is there. Incredible venue. If you're ever in Ann Arbor, I don't care what you're doing, just look up, just go. It doesn't matter who's playing at the Arc. Go see them. It's going to be awesome. I can promise you that. They're amazing people there. Just a really great town, just all around. Amazing food too, by the way. So, yeah. So I don't know. I'm kicking that around. I think it'd be kind of cool, and I think I would be more. And again, like, I feel bad saying this, but it's like I'd be more excited to host something like that and not even go to the show at this point than I would be going to the show. Now, the funny thing is that September is what, 7 months from now. There will be fear of missing out at some point because I know people who are going to the show who got tickets, and but the thing is that I've also been very fortunate to see Mayer quite a few times in concert. So, I don't know if I'll go. I'm leaning towards no, and I may not have a choice because I don't know what the ticket resale situation is with Access ticketing. So we'll see, but. Plans, what should we here? I'm going to throw it out to anybody listening at this point, and then we'll wrap it up for today. We are quickly approaching 50 episodes. I touched on this a little bit last time. What do you want to see for a 50th episode? I know you're probably going to say, get John Mayer on the show. I can't do that. I wish I could tell you I could. If you wants to come on, John, you're always welcome, obviously. But make it somewhat attainable for me. I'm curious though, what do you think would be a cool way to commemorate 50 episodes of this show? So kick it around, think about it, drop it in a comment. That'd be great. And any other suggestions, I would love to hear them about just how to expand what we're doing, grow the show, things you wish I would do, things you'd like me to talk about, whatever. Let's hear them. Lay them on me. That's what the After Dinner Mint is for. With that, you hear the theme song, which, by the way, I played this. I recorded the whole thing. Just, pat on the back for a moment. I was thinking about actually opening some shows by playing the solo over this live. Could be interesting. I usually do these in one take, so that could add to the production time because I'll be very picky about what I play. But we'll see. Maybe that'd be a fun way to commemorate the 50th episode. Playing the intro live, at least the solo portion. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. It's Everything Mayer. My name's Tom Butwin. We'll see you in the next show.